Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com and this is market recap for Friday, September 20th, 2019. As always, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Your continued support is what makes this channel possible. Stocks trade next to record highs. We'll look at S&P, QQQ, and Dow Jones as usual. Utilities are still leading the market higher. Duke Energy will show a trade example, an actual trade that we did here at MasterCharts Trading. Also, we'll look at solar stocks as they hit 52-week highs. So far, no divergences between junk debt and stocks. This is good news for stocks. Unfortunately, treasuries are again gaining. Perhaps correction is over for bonds, perhaps not. Oil is still indecisive, but with bearish bias, and I'll show you which conditions I would use to sell, to short oil. And natural gas could be shorted by aggressive traders right this instant. And we'll finally look at cryptos as they could be rolling over. So throughout the presentation, as always, I'll be using the MasterChartsTrading.com trading indicators. You can find out more about them at Master Charts Trading, and I'm talking about this green, blue, red, and yellow lines. These are actually mathematically calculated, and you can see here where I'm hovering, Master Charts Trading, price action indicators. They are available for TradingView.com. So TradingView.com, free TradingView account. Okay, so let's look at S&P. S&P is clearly bullish. Their record highs are just recently been set, very close to record highs. Now, normal looking pullback. Uh, the most important thing is, of course, the record highs. And that's basically what I'm looking at. QQQ, recent record highs as well. Nasdaq is obviously also bullish. So let's keep a according mindset. We want to be buying stocks. We do not want to be shorting stocks during a general bull market. When or if stocks roll over, we will consider shorting them. Right this instant, it's not even remotely close. So Dow Jones, same thing. Record high is relatively close, and we are trading next to them. Bullish chart, obviously. Utilities again set a new record highs. We were trading utilities back from 23rd of January, so very nice gain, over 20% gain, you can see. Overall, yes, utilities are leading the market higher. Again, this is a defensive sector, or traditionally thought of as a defensive sector, but um, still it's a stock sector. So once again, if the general market rolls over, you will not be able to sit it out in utilities. You will need to basically sell everything and just sit. Okay, so let's look at one of the recent trades, and it happened to be in the utility sector. And here it is, Duke Energy, symbol DUK. You can see that I'm not really doing anything out of the ordinary. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Let's pretend that right now is July of this year, 2019, and I'm just watching this stuff on the chart, this red and green things. They go up and down, but I'm mostly interested in the following pattern. I want to see a low below the blue line and then a close above the blue line. So this is the thing I'm looking for. This is the pattern I'm looking for. So here's that low below the blue line on 25th of July. And then there's the close above the blue line on the 26th of July, right there. And then from then on, we just go ahead and enter, we buy. Um, we put our stop at the yellow line, so a relatively wide stop. I prefer wider stops. And then we have a target, and at that moment when we have a target, once the target is reached, we can advance our stop. So the target is really up to you, and some people set ambitious targets and sometimes they're very disappointed. I set not a very ambitious target, and here it is, and this is an indicator. I use ATR, average true range. It's free. You can find it in indicators right there, and you can find built-ins, and it goes average true range right there. So average true range shows on average how much the stock moves, and I usually set a target of 2 average true ranges. So we go ahead and enter. About here was the average true range. You can see I can make it so about $1.17, so about $2 30 cents right there. So the target was reached right there basically, and this is at that point we go ahead and advance our stop, possibly take profits, and then we just we just sit. We sit and we wait, and this is the best kind of trading, is that, or rather the best traders are the ones that are able to sit. You know, you enter if you, oh my god, I have profits, I should take some. Some people do that, myself included. I like to take profits. Some people like to sit it out, and usually the ones who sit are rewarded, but not always. So this is the essence of the trade. Uh, we have the indicators. We look for a particular pattern, and there's that 2 candle pattern right there. And then we enter and we sit. So this is basically what I do for trading, and this is how I analyze charts. There's really no magic in this. Solar 10, 52-week highs. We did trade this chart. These are actual alerts, 13th of February, 7th of March, and 2nd of April, actual alerts to my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do so at Master Charts Trading. Again, you can see that those that wait and sit it out were rewarded with a huge gain, 36%. Some people, myself included, like to take profits, and as a result, some people don't get as much profits. So again, there is this good saying on Wall Street, men or traders who can be right and sit tight are rare. So anyway, so solar ETF, same thing basically. Perhaps because of oil situation, it's hitting 52-week highs. Perhaps oil will finally roll over to the downside in a really bad way. When we get to oil, I'll show you what I mean. All right, let's look at junk bonds. Junk bonds and stocks correlate highly. In other words, they move in lockstep. They um, move together in the same direction at the same time, more or less. So here's the actual alert in January of this year and 29th of January, and you can see S&P did the same thing basically on around the same time, February of this year. So junk bonds correlate highly with the general market and are indeed in an uptrend, and we were trading them, so you can see the actual gain. Some people like to have uh, portfolios entirely constructed of various bonds, and actually that's not a bad idea. Sometimes junk bonds provide a relatively good return versus S&P 500 at a lower relative risk. So sometimes, you know, people construct their retirement, especially retirement portfolios, from junk bonds and various bonds, and they use junk bonds basically as stocks. Right, let's look at TLT. So this is my actual trade from back in December and January of this year, and then there was another alert on March, and you can see that I took profits, finally closed my position. So on average, my gain was obviously not as much as if you were sitting in the position. So on average, my gain was probably around, I don't know, 12, 14%. If you sit it out, you can get much bigger gains. So again, it will really depend on your personality, and this is where psychology of trading comes in a big way. Right this instant, I close my position. I'm waiting for another dip below the blue line, as I showed previously. Uh, Perhaps this correction is already over without even getting to the blue line. So let's wait and see. But this was really overbought, very overextended from the July into August. So I am not surprised we're seeing this corrective action. I don't think it's done yet. Right, finally, oil. You can see this chart is so crazy busy because I kept trading it, and these are actual alerts. Overall, more or less successful, but very choppy. You can see that I was shorting, selling, selling, selling. I did not have a position here. I should have shorted it, but I didn't. On the 13th of September, just I didn't feel like this candle was bearish enough, so I stood out. Good thing. I had no position. You can see a huge gain the other, a few days back. But right this instant, still unresolved. Um, Perhaps it will continue higher and close above 30, $64 or so. If it does, then going to be in a bull market and we should be buying. But there is an alternative scenario, and we can see a drop again below the red line, $55 or so. And I think if it does, that could be the charm because you can see so many. They're not exactly failed trades, but they're not very big gains. So I'm hoping that, uh, rather, I'm not really hoping either way. We're just trading the chart. So if the chart drops below the red line, I will sell. If the chart goes above the blue line, I will buy. It's that simple. In fact, let me show you a chart. I recently sent it to my friend, and this is how easy it is basically. This is PG&E. Um, Now you have to know that PG&E is basically on the verge of bankruptcy. I would personally not want to sell it because right this instant it's a general bull market for stocks, and yeah, PG&E is still a stock. But for those who are more adventurous, you can buy puts, and you can see that I would be buying puts around the red line, and I would be buying calls around the blue line. It's that simple. All right, natural gas. Briefly, um, approaching those or rather aggressive short levels. How do I know it's in a downtrend? Natural gas is in a downtrend because it has closed below the red line, and for various commodities, I use the red line as the line in ascent for the bear market. You can see that that happened in December right there where I'm hovering of this last year, 2018, and then another one right there in January of this year. So overall, we had great opportunities to sell to short. Uh, and then since then, basically, we've been trending down, down, down. You can see that the yellow line marks this kind of like aggressive short levels. So if you are very aggressive, you could potentially. I would wait for a close below the yellow line, which is currently at 2.515, and then I would short it if I was aggressive. I am not. I would rather wait until the red line. So we see a bounce towards the red line, and then a high above it and a close below it. So it's the opposite of what we want to do is we instead of buying, when we were buying, we were waiting for like I just showed for Duke Energy. We want to see a low below and a close above the blue. And for various commodities, we use, for example, the red line. We want to see a high above the red line and a close below it. So this way we can sell it, short it. So I want to wait for that to happen, and that would happen around $3.11. Okay, briefly on the dollar and gold. Actually, I should have mentioned it. Did I mention it? I did not. Okay, so I should mention that we are going to look at gold there, but chopping around basically, dollar index chopping around. I mean, it's still in a bull phase, so I would be buying this particular chart. Gold actually has been disregarding the dollar itself more or less, and it's been doing sort of its own thing. We did trade this chart. We did make huge amount of money here. This is a alert sent in May. with a 20% gain on XAU USD, or we also did gold futures. So very large gain. Congratulations to subscribers. GDX briefly, still waiting. I had a position I closed at very nice gain as well. I want to see a dip below the blue line. Didn't really happen yet, so I want to wait with GDX. All right, and finally, let's look at cryptos. Cryptos, before we were trading them and actually made nice money there. This is my position. I entered 5,700 and sold a bunch. Eventually, it skyrocketed over 138%. So very large gain for subscribers. Again, congratulations. Right this instant, um, I don't like this action. Rather, on Bitcoin, it doesn't look too bad, but on Litecoin and Ethereum, it looks kind of bad because you can see up close below the red line. Actually, as we speak, right this instant, you can see, I'm going to mark the chart. You can see it's attempting to close below the red line. Not yet, because this is not the end of the day yet, but this is traded 24 hours. So, it's a live chart. Same goes for Ethereum. Now we have a short setup, I think, and if it dips below 200 and closes below 200, I would be very inclined to short it. Okay, that's it for this week's recap. Briefly, please head over to MasterCharts Trading. That's MasterChartsTrading.com. We will most likely rebrand this website pretty soon into something more pronounceable, but the service will probably remain the same. So I offer two different products and the combination of those two products. So one is alerts, and alerts is something like this, like for example for Duke Energy, or there's Apple. We traded Apple, nice 13% gain. Kostka, here is let me see, 37% gain, actually even more, 38, almost 39% gain. So very nice gains, and this is just alerts. If you're ready and you can do trading on your own, then trading indicators for TradingView, tradingview.com. You only need a free TradingView account and you can have the same lines on your chart so that your trading will be super simple. These lines make things super simple. So if you're ready for that, get trading indicators. If you're ready for both, get alerts and trading indicators. By far the best deal. Right now we have a yearly sale going on, 30 per month, or only $459 billed yearly. Of course, you can just get a monthly subscription, and we can get you trading in no time. So if you have any questions, please send them in. Please hit the like button again, share this video with others, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.